pretty cool treat for you. I was at a recent Willow Snags show watching my friends play, and my friend Johnny's been playing his jazz bass, and I noticed from the audience, I'm checking out his bass, and I can see the neck's got quite a bow in it, so I offered to set it up for him, and he brought it over Wednesday night, and we sat here and adjusted the truss rod and the saddles and got it playing a lot better for him. But he also brought along this really cool Hagstrom 8-string. This is a HB8. And I'm pretty sure this is the newer made in China version. But again, it's got a big bow in the neck, and the action is super high. I also noticed that there's a pretty good line of separation going on here in the neck pocket. So I'm going to access the truss rod and try to straighten the neck out, but I'm pretty sure the neck's going to have to come off of this thing. And let's see what's going on in that pocket. But pretty cool bass. I got to figure out how to tune this thing. I've been messing around with it a little bit, but anyhow, let's get into it. Okay, well, it looks like it's definitely been messed around with before. There's one way to find out and see if I can get a Allen key to go in there. Yeah, it's too big. Probably a 4mm or 4.5mm. Maybe it is 3/16. Just not getting the positive lock in like I want. I don't like the way it feels. Yeah, it looks kind of wallered out. Don't like it. Just not feeling like it wants to turn easily. So, get a little mystery oil in there. I'm tempted to just go ahead and take the neck off now because I feel like that's gonna be, I wanna know why it looks like it's separating there. Well, with no strings on it, it doesn't look terrible. But 8 strings, that's a lot more tension than a regular bass, Really like to get half a turn out of that truss rod. Yeah. I don't know how much I can do with this truss rod. It's kind of foobar. unpull the neck. Let's see what's going on in there. H expander, it says on the end of the neck there. Pocket doesn't look terrible. Not the cleanest pocket I've ever seen. Looks like a mahogany body. Not the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen, you know. Some paint or something there. Oh, there it went. Clean up some of this wood around the screw hole so it can set down in there flat. Make full contact. Okay, I'm going to try to get it screwed back down good and snug. Hopefully take that gap out of it. So Hagstrom, originally made in Sweden in the 60s and 70s. They started, from what I understand, they started making them again in 2005 in China. I'm pretty sure this is not the original Swedish version. Okay, so that's down good and snug. And there's still a big gap in there. I think it's just kind of poorly manufactured. I was telling Johnny, the owner of this base, we may end up putting a neck shim in this thing because the saddles are already pretty low. In fact, while I've got this apart, I might just throw one in there and see what it looks like with string tension on it. Yeah, why not? Let's put a shim in it. Let's see. I've got a 0.5, 2.5s. I guess that's what we're gonna put in there. Let's see what it does. I think I've got another set somewhere if I need to go up or down. I'll put one of these in there. That's a lot better. Okay, well, here's the deal with this thing. I think the truss rod is bottomed out, as tight as it'll go. So without pulling the truss rod out and trying to shim, I think I've got it as flat as I'm going to be able to get it without doing all that. It's pretty, actually it looks better today than it did yesterday, but it's got a pretty prominent ski jump situation. It's pretty common where the frets to be a little high. I did take the fret leveler and take a little off of these high frets. If it were mine, I would just sand them down until they didn't bother me anymore. It's not like I play up here very often, and I don't know how much you do that on a 8-string bass, but it's not mine, so I'm gonna go easy with it and let Johnny see what he thinks about it. Yeah, saddle height is pretty good right now. It's probably not in any kind of tune. I don't even really know how to tune this thing. I've been doing it by ear, and I think I've gotten it close, but that doesn't sound right. Anyhow, that's where she's at. I think I'm going to stop messing around with the neck and pull the strings and get this pick guard off of here and see what's going on with this selector switch. From what I can find out on the internet, they're problematic. They're not easily available for replacement. So I'm going to try to clean it up and make sure everything's wired tight and see what we can do about it. Other than that, it's getting ready to go back to Johnny. Yeah, I've enjoyed having it around. I've never had one in my hands, and always was curious about them. I don't think it's something that I need to have in my arsenal, fortunately, because I've got 7 basses now, and I just saw a Squire at Guitar Center today. It's the Vintage Vibe Telecaster model. I really liked it. It's so light. Speaking of weight, this thing is a tank. It's heavy. And, you know, I read that people say these necks are kind of spaghetti is the word they use to describe them. Really thin, bendy. Not the case with this one. This thing's pretty chunky piece of maple, and it's stiff and heavy. But it's a cool bass. I think it's a great looking bass, and to me, a bass with a wimpy looking headstock is just not going to be in my hands for any reason. I think this is a great looking headstock. Now, I just said I wanted a Telecaster bass. Well, a Telecaster bass is just a different thing. But some bass headstocks are just lame. I'm looking at my Dean Z over there. Yeah, anyhow. On to the next phase. Different size. Selector switch is a different size. Well, I don't see anything glaringly obvious. Connections look like they're connected. Like I say, I suspect this selector is not doing what it's supposed to. I will inspect it a little more carefully. I'm waiting for my can of electronics cleaner to show up tomorrow. I'll take all these connectors apart and give it the intense scrutiny. See if I can figure out what's going on with this thing. I am no electrician. I can do a little soldering if I know where things are supposed to go. But yeah. I'll put that on the back burner for now and wait for that cleaner to show up. And I'm going to take a nap and think it over. And maybe when I wake up, I'll have all the answers. I'll get back to you. Okay, so good news for Johnny's Hagstrom. I managed to free the truss nut and get it to move a little for me. It was very, very tense because, you know, this doesn't belong to me and I don't want to screw it up. And the truss rod was really seized up. And it's got a very small, I believe this is in 1/8 inch size in there. So I was really worried about stripping that. Or I was even worried the truss rod was going to break because it's so tight. But it let it soak overnight and got her to move. And now we're tuned up and strung up, and nice, mostly flat fretboard. Does have a bit of a ski ramp down here at the higher frets. I'm pretty happy with being able to flatten the fretboard out a little bit. There is a neck shim in the pocket, and I'm still confident that that was the right thing to do. But, we're getting there. Hagstrom 8-string. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of that. I had a lot of fun working on that bass and making some improvements to it and getting it a little more playable. So if you've got a Hagstrom 8-string or you're interested in them, maybe you learned something. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe, of course, would be greatly appreciated. All right, take care.